What's going on, Master Duel fans? James Polk here. Season 18 is over with, and Season 19 has already begun. As for the Season 18 deck list of choice that I took for ranked duels, that would be Sky Striker. Sky Striker has always been one of those crazy decks that I have been playing since Dark Saviors, which is insane. And with such amount of support they have in terms of new monsters, new spells, the deck makes a whole lot insane going first or second, but at the same time, some lists, to be quite honest, doesn't change anything. And with that being said, before we start on this Sky Striker deck profile, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you haven't already, smash that notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. So let's get things first. 3 Ray, 1 Rose. The reason why this ratio is because I don't want to see too much copies of Ray and or Rose be drawn into, but at the same time, if you see at least one of the 3 copies of Ray, you pretty much in a pretty good start to the game. So, of course, Ray has the ability to, as a quick effect, tribute Ray herself, special A Sky Striker Ace monster straight from your extra deck to the extra monster zone, and that doesn't get treated as a linked summon. While this card is in your graveyard, if a face-up Sky Striker Ace Link monster you control gets killed by battle or leaves the field no matter where it goes, just because of an opponent's card effect, free special the Ray from graveyard. Each effective Ray once. And then Rose here, if a Sky Striker Ace monster is normal or special outside of Rose, outside of the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then, if an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone gets killed by battle or leaves the field no matter where it goes because of your card effect, while Rose is in your graveyard, free special Rose, then you can negate the effects of one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. And that effect does not target. Each effective Rose once. And then the other honorary monster to end games is Phantom Sky Blaster. When it's normal or flip summon, special summon any number of Sky Blaster tokens. Fiend Dark, level 4, 500 attack and defense, up to the number of monsters you control. And then, once per turn during your standby phase, burn your opponent for 300 for each Sky Blaster monster you control, and then Sky Blaster monsters you control cannot declare an attack during the turn you activate this effect. That burn damage effect literally never comes up, like never ever, but at the same time it's meant for either get your draw plays going or OTK your opponent like crazy. And then your hand traps, triple copies of Impermanence, Lucky Royal Impermanence at its finest. Shoutouts to the one off from Traded in Terraforming. 2 Veiler, 3 Droll, 2 Ogre, 2 Ash, and 2 Bells. Impermanence and Veilers share their similarity of the roles in terms of the versatile hand traps. Same with Droll. I think all 3 of those hand traps overperformed way too well. And then Ghost Ogre is really good, especially in a mirror match, is where if they have a multi-roll up, you don't want multi-roll to resolve ever. Otherwise, you're pretty much in a bad spot. Ash definitely performed way too well because obviously she's the best hand trap in terms of stopping your opponent from searching or foolishing most of the time. And then Ghost Spell performed clutch when needed, because Bestials are out. It makes it so that we rather have Ghost Spell in the main deck. So that way you don't want the Bestial players to banish your Ray and or Rose. Because if all copies ended up banished, you literally lose the game. It's basically like a game of lives. So based on this list, you have 4 lives. Technically 3 because the copies of Ray, of course, but mainly you have 4 lives. If all copies of Ray and the 1 copy of Rose ends up banished, you literally lost the game, you lost all of your lives, and the game is over. You don't want them to be banished because of Bestials. Hence why Ghost Spell does it perfectly against Bestials. And in the spell lineup, starting with the non-Sky Strikers, Call by the Grave, Raigeki, Feather Duster, Mind Control, Monster Reborn, Change of Heart, Upstart Goblin, Foolish Burial. As for the Sky Striker cards, mission of the deck focuses on no monsters in your main monster zone at all times in order for them to use these Sky Striker spells, with the exception of 2 cards. And you will see what I mean as we go through with this. And they also have bonus effects if they have, or if you have 3 spells in your graveyard. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. Welcome back to 2 in TCG land. Add a Sky Striker card in any shape or form that isn't engaged from deck to hand. 3 or more spells, draw a card. Afterburners, Jamming Waves. Afterburners, target 1 face-up monster on the field, kill it. 3 or more spells, does not target, destroy 1 spell trap anywhere on the field. Jamming Waves, target 1 set spell trap anywhere on the field, kill it. 3 or more spells, does not target, kill 1 monster anywhere on the field. And obviously I forgot about Tactics. It's been a long weekend of Master Duel, of course. I forgot about Tactics as a non-Sky Striker spell. It's been a very long minute, so please forgive me on that. But Tactics cards clutch when needed. Hercules Base. Hercules Base is super good now, because now that we been had Kagari at 3 for quite some time, Kagari and Hercules Base, that is meant for infinite recycle loops. So that way, in case if you ran out of Sky Striker spells way too early, Kagari and Hercules Base can keep the loops going until you eventually literally recover all Sky Striker spells. Area Zero. Area Zero is super nice because most lists truly deviate into playing at least 2 copies or try to like max out all of it for a random Pot of Duality-esque effect chance to see a striker engage or the Ray, but I find myself, in my honest opinion, to play the 1 field spell because it legit sucks so much. Like, don't get me wrong, the card is great, it's just excavating into like something that as a last resort is like a Hail Mary type of an effect. It's like, it's either you go for the key card or it's bust. So obviously, you excavate the top 3, and if any of the hits are Sky Striker cards, you get to add 1 of them, and then if for some reason you excavate a Sky Striker card, whether if you choose not to add the card or do so, that targeted card ends up going straight to the grave anyway. And on top of that, if this card in the field zone gets sent to the graveyard by a card effect, special 1 Sky Striker Ace monster straight from your deck. And then, as mentioned about Hercules Base, As an equip card, hook it up. It gets to make a second attack on monsters, but not direct attacks. Upon being equipped, monster kills an opponent's monster by battle. While I have 3 or more spells, draw one. So you're essentially a Pot of Greed, which is insane. And then obviously target up to 3 Sky Striker cards when it comes to Hercules base being sent off by a card effect. This is the part where you recycle up to 3 Sky Striker spells. So Link monster, main deck monster, and the spells. That is in Hercules base because obviously you played the card as a one-of anyway, and you can recycle it off from Kagari. Ego Booster. It makes 1 face-up monster on the field unaffected by everything else except its own. 3 or more spells, can't be killed by battle this turn. 3 Widow Anchor. Negate its effects. 3 or more spells, snatch, steal the monster until the end of this turn, or until the end phase. And then Hornet Drones, generate a token, obviously. 3 or more spells, make that stat become 1500 instead of zeros of a Dark Warrior level 1. And then this is the card you generally want to resolve and win the game the most. Multi-row. Welcome back to 3 in TCG land. Target 1 other card you control, send that card to the graveyard. Also, you cannot activate, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to spell card activations, even if it leaves the field. And then gain the previous effect once. So generally the context is, I know what most people be thinking is like most should have no trouble clearing the multi-row with the likes of Ghost Ogre or Cosmic Cyclone and all, but just basically resolving multi-row once, it makes it so that you're automatically winning this game for good. Like, if anyone ever asks about resolving the first effect off from multi-row like second or third time around, like, no, because by the time you resolve multi-row the second time or the third time's the charm, you should have been super far ahead of the game state. The game should have been over at that point. And then its other effect, which I don't ever in my entire life use because I don't want to banish my striker spells, but it's basically during the end phase once, set the Sky Striker spells with different names from grave back to the field based on the number of Sky Striker spells you used. And I ended up cutting Shark Cannon from this list because I find the card to be fairly mediocre now, because not only because of Bestials, but in most of my matchups throughout the season, it's literally been Bestials, Fluanderies, and branded decks, or like any decks that utilizes banish effects. Shark Cannon is literally not worth it to be main, to be quite honest. I tested out the card and prior to season 18, it doesn't really work the way I wanted it to be, because decks that has banish effects, as soon as they hit to the banish pile, they're going to generate massive advantage and you're literally going to lose the game. And then extra deck, triple Kagari, triple Shizuku, basics, only 1 Hayate, only 1 Kaina, because we wanted to make room for the OTK combo setup because we're playing Phantom Sky Blaster. So, Kagari and Shizuku, basics. Bumps up Kagari by 100 per spell your graveyard. All monsters lose 100 attack and defense for every spell from your graveyard, courtesy of Shizuku. Kagari gets you a spell back from grave to hand upon being link summoned, while Shizuku does the searching of any Sky Striker spell that isn't the one that you just got from your graveyard. So basically, if you have no Sky Striker spells, literally any Sky Striker spell, from deck to hand. Only one Hayate, only one Kaina. Kaina is really situational, but she's only there for blocking out attacks off from boss monsters, which is super nice. And then, in case if you're running low on life, and if you have too many striker spells in your hand, just play as many as you can just to gain 100 life per striker spell activated and or resolved before tagging her out into something else. And then Hayate direct attacks and puts up a foolish burial after battling it out as of after damage calc. And then Zeke, only one Zeke because no other ways to special summon except Link summon. Hence why Zeke is the one of not multiples. The case about Zeke is upon Link summon, she spot removal a face-up monster, herself included, so that way if you have a monster in your main monster zone in any situation where if you want to turn back on your Sky Striker spells, banish the monster from your main monster zone so that you are able to play your Sky Striker spells again. Otherwise, you rarely use the Link summon effect of Zeke, whether if they have no monsters or not. It's just to spot removal any boss monster or any problematic monster so that you should be able to get yourself in a pretty good position. And then because we play Phantom Sky Blaster, so that would be 2 Link Spider, Nightmare Phoenix, Flame Administrator, and Decode Talker. Nightmare Phoenix is only there for whenever you get Anti-Spell, Rivalry of Warlords. Sky Blaster tokens are fiends. This is a fiend. And I honestly do not know why Phoenix is a fiend of all things. It's just that you're able to bypass Anti-Spell and Rivalry of Warlords. Flame Administrator says 1 Administrator at a time, and all links you control, self included, gain 800. And then Decode Talker, he's only there in the extra monster zone for the OTK combo. So your OTK setup should be Decode Talker in the extra monster zone with Flame Administrator and any leftover Sky Striker monster that you didn't use for the special summon / Link summon according to Zeke. So this would be 41. This is 2000. These are 23s. This is 23, but can be more in a grind game. And then Zeke at 23. So basically you are dealing 8400 damage more for Kagari, but 8400 damage for a OTK setup with just drones and Sky Blaster. And then Topologic Bomber Dragon. Card is super okay against spam decks. It's basically where if they expect to go off, you could just literally outright flip up Hornet drones, special where bombers arrows are pointing to, and you just clearly exploding up the main monster zone. And also this is really good where if you have Bomber Dragon hooking up with Hercules base, this can deal up to a total of 6,000 damage, which is insane. Because after damage calc, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, burn your opponent based off from that monster's original attack. So again, you're dealing 6,000 damage off from Bomber and Hercules base hooked up together, which is insane. So guys, I want to thank you on this Sky Striker deck profile, and if you love to see more ranked duels in the near future, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and if you haven't already, smash the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated, and we'll catch you guys next time.